Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. In this lecture, we will learn about what is data warehouse. So let's start. So the data warehouse is actually a relational database in which data is collected from various databases. Data warehouse is a central location where consolidated data from multiple locations are stored. Data warehouse stores the data from multiple databases, for example, the sales database or the supplies database or some HR database. So it is a collection of multiple databases. The size of the data warehouse is very large than the relational database because the data warehouse is just created with the purpose of analysis. We are not creating database for day-to-day use, but we are creating the data warehouse for the analysis purpose. So the size of the data warehouse is very large. This is just an overview of data warehouse. Now the definition is data warehouse is a subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant and non-volatile collection of data in support of management's decision-making process. So what it means? The main features of the data warehouse is a subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant and non-volatile. So let's understand these terms in detail. So the first is subject-oriented. Data warehouse are designed to help analyze data. So let's take one example. Suppose a customer do one transaction. Yes. So that one transaction contains the multiple records such as a sales receipt, quantity sold, product number, date, customer name, etc. So in the transactional database, all these data are stored in a one row, while data warehouse is stored based on the subject. For example, here the sales receipt, quantity sold, and the date and the product number. So these are belonging to the category of sales. So these data are stored into the sales data warehouse. Now the product number, product description and unit price are in the category of product. So these data are stored in the product warehouse. And the customer name and customer address is stored into the customer data warehouse. So here we are creating the data warehouse for the multiple purpose and store the data based on that. Okay, so we can by doing that we can get the answer of multiple questions. For example, you can answer the question like who was the best customer for this item last year. So yes, we can do it easily by just analyzing the customer database rather than analyzing the each and every details. So a data warehouse is a subject oriented, and by doing that we can easily analyze the data. So the next is a integrated. Data warehouse is a constructed by integrating multiple heterogeneous data sources like relational database, flat files, online transaction records. The data collected is a clean, and then data integration techniques are applied, which ensure the consistency in the naming conventions, encoding structures, attributes, measures, etc. So here we are collecting the data from multiple databases. Yes, so the format of the each database is different. Also the naming convention is different. For example, in one database the price is in a rupees, while in another database the price is in a dollar. So this is the problem when we are integrating the multiple databases. So the task of the integration is or the task of this phase is, when we integrate the database, first thing we resolve is first we resolve the naming conventions, then the inconsistency among the units of measure. When they achieve this, they are said to be the integrated. So when we create the database and the integration is happen, then we can surely say that the data formats or the naming conventions are the same. So the third is time variant. So the time variant means the data warehouse stores the historical data, or it maintains the historical data, while the transaction database store only the current value data. It store only the real value data. So let's take one example. A customer record has details of his job. A data warehouse would maintain all his previous job when compared to the transactional system, which only maintains the current job, due to which it's not possible to retrieve the older records. So in this example, the data is customer's job. So the data warehouse store the current as well as their previous jobs information, while the transactional database only store the current job detail. So when we retrieve the database, so data warehouse are able to retrieve the complete information. The last is a non-volatile. Non-volatile means once the data entered into the data warehouse, it cannot be removed or not changed, because the purpose of data warehouse is to analyze the data. Okay, so the purpose is to analyze the data, so there is no need to add the operation like insert, update, delete. So the data warehouse supports only the two operations. First is the initial loading of the data, and the second is access of the data. So these are the four terms of data warehouse, or we can say that the four features of the data warehouse: a subject oriented, integrated, time variant, and non-volatile. The next is a business intelligence and data warehouse in the today's perspective. So now we all know business intelligence and data warehouse. So it is important to understand how business intelligence and data warehouse are important in our today's perspective. So business intelligence is basically a business intelligence system which tells you what happened or is happening right now in your business. It describes the situation to you, but on the basis it is able to do what is the source. How can it help me in taking a strategic decision? Answer is it makes a use of data. Data which is collected over a large amounts of time from a heterogeneous data sources. But now a very basic question arises where this data is. So the data is stored in the data warehouse. So without data warehousing, we are not able to do a business intelligence or the data mining. So the first step is a data warehousing or creating the data warehousing, and then after, by analyzing the data warehouse, we are able to perform a data mining or the business intelligence task. So now the next is a raw data to the valuable information. Now the topics we have learned till now, so based on that we will able to answer the question that how to convert the raw data to the valuable information. So the first step is we are collecting the data from multiple sources like database or the flat files or the World Wide Web, anything. Then after we pre-process the data, we are cleaning the data, we arrange the proper format, then we store this data into the data warehouse. Now we are applying the data mining algorithms on the data warehouse. So by applying that algorithm, we are able to extract the valuable patterns or the valuable information from the data warehouse. Now one analyst review the outputs, and based on the review they creates the reports. So based on the reports, one employee interprets the results, and based on the result the employee take a action based on the findings. So this is all the process, or this is the process of raw data to the valuable information. So when we perform these steps, so we are now able to take action on our business to improve the business or to improve the revenue. So this is all about data warehouse. So now let's move on the first slide of data warehouse. There is one term is a data warehousing, the process of constructing and using the data warehouse. This process is called the data warehousing. That's it. In today's lecture we have learned what is a data warehouse, the features of the data warehouse, and the last is what is a data warehousing. So that's it. Thank you so much.